You're listening to Let's Grow Together podcast.
Forever and ever, we'll make it, we grow together.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Let's Grow Together. My name is James Gilmore and my wife,
Lynette Gilmore.
and we'd like to thank you for your, continuing to listen to our podcast and also watch it on YouTube. Like we said, we strive to really keep doing this on a regular basis, every Wednesday. I try to keep it consistent because sometimes we be off and on because we have so much stuff going on. And we have a lot of great news coming up. We have guests coming up soon.
Yes.
We don't want to say a whole lot right now, until we get more information. But we're going to have some great guests, talk about finances. So we're going to get into that as well. So, we just got a lot of great people interested in being on our podcast and our show. So, and also Lynette has a lot of great news coming up, with her business as well.
Oh, yes.
We want to discuss later on in our podcast. So, again, we appreciate y'all for always, your continued support. And so, Let's Grow Together, the name of our podcast is Let's Grow Together. And we just always want to motivate people, inspire people, especially families as a whole, inspire people to, keep going in life. And so the topic of our podcast show today, we just want to talk about, being driven to succeed. A lot of people, especially once they have one thing, that goes wrong with them in life, they want to give up.
Yeah. And
you just have to have, like you drive a car, you have to have fuel to keep going. And so, when we're being driven to succeed, we have to have something continually that inspires us to keep going. And Lynette, what's some things that inspire you to keep going, to stay driven to succeed?
That's a good question. Oh my goodness. Well, I'll say the number one thing that keeps me going to succeed is that I know that I only have one life.
Yeah.
And I am not going to get a second chance at life.
Yeah.
So all the things that I want to do, I need to do it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's one of the number one things that keeps me going, to be honest.
Yeah, and often, I was going to say that too. You only have one life. And also you think about how fast time goes, years go. Like this year, 2022, it went by so fast.
Yes.
It's almost close to the holidays and stuff like that. It's like, you just got to cherish every moment. And I think a lot of people, especially this year, especially since, COVID and a lot of things has been going on these past few years, I think a lot of people are really waking up. They really want to do great things in life. Mm-hmm. And some people still kind of like, I got time, or they're just caught up in, their regular agenda during their days. But, we just want to inspire people to really, be driven. And even people are, older, like adults, a lot of people still trying to think about what their purpose is in life. First of all, that's in order to be driven, you first got to know your purpose.
Yeah.
And
I want to ask a question though. Why do you think people struggle so badly when trying to figure out what their purpose is in life?
A lot of things is they don't feel confident in themselves. Mm-hmm. The self-esteem like we were talking about last podcast show, people have traumas. Somebody have told them, especially what they're interested in. It reminds me of LaToya Luckett on, the R&B Money podcast. Shout out to them. She said she lost her confidence in singing and being a lead singer. And she lost confidence in even just her voice singing. And so people, over time, they lose confidence, and it goes along with their purpose. They lose focus on their purpose in life because of what people say, or in a way, people always, like I'm saying, people always care about what people think about them. If I do this, what will people think about me?
Yeah.
Instead of just walking in their purpose and doing what they're called to do or chosen to do in life.
Yeah. I think that's so true, though, because it can be the most simplest thing that you want to do in life, and people will discourage you to do it.
Yeah.
Literally, if I wake up tomorrow and say, I want to be a rock collector, people are going to look at me strange and say, now why on earth would you want to collect rocks for a living? Huh? People get all like that, right? And I would say, because that's what I'm interested in. I like rocks. And I would like to go out there and explore. Maybe I could find a rare type of rock. Maybe I can find a crystal. It goes beyond just what you can see. And I think when you hear things, like you said, when you hear things like that, what people say, now why on earth would you want to do something like that? Now you're going to waste your time being out there looking for rocks all day. Stuff like that really does discourage people. And it's like, how do you know? Have you ever done that before?
Yeah. And then you thinking about that, it reminds me of the show Shark Tank. I always fascinated with people, create, have inventions, and they think of ideas. And when you're talking about rock collections, people are fascinated in so many different things. And that's why you can't be, I wouldn't say intimidated, but you can't be distracted by people's opinions a lot, because what you're doing, somebody else is always interested, in that.
Yeah, that is true.
Like I was thinking about Kanye West. Of course, he has a lot of controversy with him, recently. But, you think about his clothing. A lot of people say his clothing look so weird and stuff like that. But it's somebody out there that love his fashion. Yeah. They love the way he puts the stuff together. Like they said, sometimes clothes match people's personalities.
Yeah, they do.
And so Kanye is just gonna put out what he's driven to create. And that's, like you said, somebody might say it's weird that you have a rock collection, but somebody might be interested in different color rocks. Yes. Gold rocks. Yeah. Some people might put gems or diamonds on rocks, and they collect them.
Yeah, some people trade them too. So, I mean, and that, if you have something, if you want to be driven to succeed, like, you really have to hold on to what it is that you want to do. And something that you mentioned earlier is that some people get down really bad when something small happens. Yeah. They let it distract them. Yeah. And that's dangerous, because if you let that, out of all the good things that can be happening, you let a small thing or anything that messes you up or mess anything up while you're on your path, you let that take you off the rails. And then sometimes you can get, behind doing that, because you're thinking on that instead of thinking of the positive. The Bible tells us to speak on those things that are good, to think on those things that are good, and lovely, and of a good, I'm paraphrasing, so I don't know it word for word, but it basically tells us to think on these positive things. Because it wants us to have hope.
Yeah. And the key thing, and I've, thought of this, over time, as you gain wisdom, you gain knowing what your purpose is. People are going to not like you if you're trying to succeed or you're not trying to succeed. If you're not doing enough in life and you don't feel driven, people say you're not doing enough. And then if you do over, people's expectations, people are still gonna have something bad to say about you. So
Right.
you just gotta have the tunnel vision with whatever you want to do. First, you have to have a vision of what you want to do in life. As far as being driven, you have to have a vision because it's just like you driving and you're not going anywhere. You don't have no GPS saying where your destination is.
Right.
You just driving with no purpose on where you're going.
Just driving.
No direction. And so you have to know, you have to have a vision and have to know what direction, and you have to take action.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a big thing you said, taking action. Before I get into, talking about taking action, it's something you said. You basically saying how people have something to say when you don't do anything, and if you do something and you're excelling, going above and beyond, they still have something to say.
Yeah.
But what amazes me about that is this: when you are not fully prepared for something and you go do it and you fail, people are ready to tear you apart. They're ready to tell you your downfall. But then when you go above and beyond the expectations or the requirements, right? They have little to say. It's like they're dumbfounded. Like, why is that? Like, that's a toxic way. I feel like that's a toxic way of people to think.
Yeah, and those type of people you don't want to have with you when you get there, because somebody told me about something that Steve Harvey had said on a motivational moment. He said that when it's like you driving a wagon, and some people, they're gonna be with you, outside of the wagon to help you push the wagon, and then some people just gonna be sitting in there just to see where you're gonna go.
Yeah.
But you don't want to keep the people in the wagon because they're gonna be dead weight, and they're gonna keep you, dragging to your, to the end. But the people that's helping you push, that's the people you want to keep in your circle. And so I thought that was very motivational.
Yeah, that's
that
good.
He said, because the people in the wagon, they just sitting there waiting to see what's going to happen.
Naysayers.
Naysayers. They say, oh, he can't do this. And then some people are just wishy-washy.
Right.
And so, you just don't want to have bad seeds in your circle.
Yes, I love that analogy there, because the people that's helping you push the wagon understands the mission.
Yeah.
They understand where you're going and what you're doing. But it's like, how did those people get inside the wagon just to sit down? Where did they come from? Right?
Yeah, it's people that, you let in your life. You think they're there for you, but you realize that they just holding you back. And it can be family, it can be friends that you've known for all your life, but at a moment you realize you just don't need them.
Yeah.
They holding you back from what you're trying to do. And there's a lot of people, especially I believe the COVID and stuff, it was a horrible thing that happened. A lot of people died, but I think it was also a blessing. People had time to think about things and reflect on the time they missed, just being stagnant and being complacent. And that's the thing that can keep you from being driven. You being complacent. You say, oh, I'm okay where I'm at. I don't need to, be inspired to, do more in life.
Yeah, also, I have always wondered, like, what inspires people to do anything, really?
Yeah.
Because it's like, when you think about it, you have some people who just don't want to do anything. I mean, they are lazy. They literally just sit around. They're okay with it, and time will pass them by. Like, they don't contribute to anything. They don't want to contribute to anything. They don't want to do nothing.
Yeah. Yes, people like that. They just live for the day, and that's it.
And I'm not talking about a productive person, a person that get up and go to work every day either.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about anybody like that. I'm literally talking about a person that you can't get up out of bed. You can't get them to do anything. You can't get them to meet new people. And I mean, they're not going through anything, like they're not depressed or anything. They just want to do just nothing.
Yeah. And that's and then later on they regret it because they wasted so much time. And like we said at the beginning, you only have one life to live. And you just have to make the best of it. That's how I think about now with fear. This Let's Grow Together. We're not just talking, inspiration to everybody. When we say stuff, it includes ourselves. We motivating ourselves, and we deal with fear on a daily basis. But you often think about, you only have one life to live. In that situation with fear, you only have one life to live. You shouldn't just be swallowed in fear all your life.
That's a good point. Swallowed in fear.
You don't want to be swallowed in fear, and fear just completely take you away from your purpose.
Oh yeah.
And being driven to succeed.
Yeah, one thing about that fear though, I found that in fear you are really blinded.
Yeah. Because
you'll be afraid to do something that many people are already doing. And it's already been proven that it can work, that it do work, right? But you don't know. You see it, but you can't see it because you're fearful.
Yeah.
They're just saying, like, you see everybody around you riding a bike. It's possible.
Yeah.
But you're so afraid that you're not going to succeed at it.
Yeah.
And your closest friends or family are doing the same thing. They're riding the bike right in front of you.
Yeah.
But you're so blinded by fear.
Yeah, you remember Lynette when we was eating Chinese food and I was using chopsticks, and I was like, forget it, I'm using a fork. I'm tired of trying to practice with these chopsticks. And so one day I just got the courage. I said, let me pick up these chopsticks again and try over and over again. And all of a sudden I just got comfortable with chopsticks. And so that's the thing, repetition and really trying to be driven that I can eat with these chopsticks.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with riding a bike. You gotta keep, you gotta have action with it in order for it to happen.
Yeah.
And so
another thing I also learned too is that sometimes if it's not fear, it's complaining and procrastination.
Yeah.
Because we gotta stop complaining about things and find a solution. Yeah. And I'm gonna talk about myself here because I think last year I was complaining about gaining weight, right? And I really honestly thought, like, all the stuff that I was doing, I had got a personal trainer for a month. I met with him, I think, twice a week, if I can remember. And I was doing the workouts and everything, right? And I just thought I couldn't lose weight because I wasn't losing any weight. And what I had to do ultimately was fast.
Yeah.
I had to stop eating so much.
Yeah.
Even though I was eating what you would call the right things, I didn't have a lot of knowledge that maybe I shouldn't be eating rice all the time. you know, stuff like that. So when I discovered this, when I had to go away for training, and you know, our schedule for eating was kind of up and down with things. Or we'll get, like, you know, a ready meal or something like that. But I didn't eat much because I didn't eat a lot of the things that they were serving. So I had a lot of fruits and stuff, and I was just basically fasting and eating when I could, and I was moving a lot, and I lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
So procrastination and complaining will also have you miss opportunities of, you know, finding the solution because you're so worried about what it is you can't do.
Yeah. And you know, going along with that, you know, you know, with trying to lose weight, you know, you had got, you know, sources on how to do that and how to fast and stuff like that. And shout out to Mr. Cedric Nash. I saw an interview he had with a certain person, you know, that was interviewing him on Instagram. He was talking, the guy asked him how you get over fear, and he said the way you get over fear is, you know, gaining information. And so, you know, you have to gain information. The more information you have, the less fear you have to do things in life.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very important because I think of, like, even older people with computers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They have a fear of using computers. Oh, I don't want to mess with that, and I might mess up something. But the more they get information on how to navigate through the computer and stuff like that, and they get the resources, they more comfortable with it. They don't have that fear no more. So I thought that was very fascinating. That he said that. Yeah.
That is, wow. That's amazing, because when you do have knowledge to certain things, the more successful you can become if you know how to use that knowledge. So that's that was really good, that what he said.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And going back, you talking about weight, you know, losing weight. Last year, you know, everything you have to take action, you know, when you driven to succeed. And, you know, last year, you know, I was really at it. You know, I was running a mile, and it was very comfortable out, you know, over time, because we kept doing it. You know, me and you kept running and stuff like that. And it became easier and easier, and we started seeing the weight come off. And so, you know, I hate to admit, but this year I gained a lot of that back, because we didn't, you know, we went back to our old ways, you know, eating and stuff. So now we have to be driven again to lose the weight. It's difficult. You know, you have addictions, sweets, coffee, and all that stuff. But sometimes you have to, you know, being driven, you have to sacrifice things as well.
Yeah.
You have to sacrifice your old habits in order to gain good habits.
That is the key. You said it.
Yeah.
Man, when you let go of those old thoughts and habits, you create a new leaf I would say for yourself.
Yeah.
Because, that's important.
Yeah.
In order to move on and to advance, you have to do those things because, that's holding on to old information that just doesn't work for you anymore.
Yeah. And then when you're driven, you don't just want to have success, but you want to have great success. You don't want to just have mediocre success. You want to have great success, knowing that you work hard and you work the right way in order to, succeed. You think about, there's so many ways people have cheated in life and succeeded, and they ended up in jail or anything. But you have to do the right things in order to succeed the correct way.
Yeah.
Because some people do it the wrong way and they don't enjoy the fruits of their labor.
Yeah, quick success.
Yeah. And so you have to be driven to do things the right way in order, not only for you but for your generation, generations to come.
That's good. That's really good you said that because, man, some people want things like so fast. They're willing to do anything to get it, and it can lead them in the wrong place because they don't want to do it the right way.
Yeah. And
that is so true what you said, and so important too.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what we really wanted to talk about today. You had anything else you wanted to talk about?
Oh
as
yeah.
far as being driven.
Yeah. So I want to talk about. Well, last year I had I wanted to really get my products into stores, right? Mm-hmm. And I talked about that. I did the paperwork, but I didn't finish it, right?
Yeah.
And at that point, I thought I was ready a little bit, but not really ready. Mm-hmm. So this year, I looked into getting my products on a major platform, Walmart.com. And I sat down. I had a meeting with Walmart.com yesterday, and now I finally got my products on Walmart.com.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna have to be honest. Initially, I didn't think that this was a big deal because I wanted to have my products in the physical store, which I'm still working on that. However, I had to take a step back because I realized later that not a lot of people do get accepted into Walmart.com.
Yeah.
Like for me, it was just really a easy breeze, and I'm grateful. And now I'm excited that I'm on Walmart.com. So now you can find my products at herbsforhealth.store, and you can find my products on Walmart.com/herbsforhealth. And you will find I have about 22 products up there, so there's a lot to choose from. So if you want to support, you can go to herbsforhealth.store. You also can find those products on Walmart.com.
Great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And that's true inspiration to me. And I know it's an inspiration to a lot of people. They have visions and, they wonder how can they get to that next step. And it takes action.
Yes.
That's all it takes.
Yes.
She had to take action to contact these people. The key to succeeding is also building relationships. If you don't build relationships, you can't get anywhere. Me with music, it's the same thing. You have to build a relationship with people, not only in the business sense, but, a relationship. And people will
You're listening to Let's Grow Together podcast.